No,
the reason why I also said somebody is that I've also spoken to CD, and he tells me he didn't know how it happened.
You spoke to him officially on air?
No, not on air.
Okay.
Yesterday, whilst I was preparing for this show, I called him that.
So that's the same thing he told me, you know. But I mean,
but the students were doing it in conjunction with xylophone.
Exactly.
So there's no way they can say
good. So that information.
So somebody instructed.
Yeah. So that information from CD was wrong. Because CD cannot, let's say CD doesn't have the power to even instruct, then maybe Stonebwoy instructed that. Because above Stonebwoy, there's nobody. And there's no way xylophone will say Stonebwoy is coming to perform, tear down xylophone stuff for Stonebwoy to perform. So you see the communication. So now, in all this mess, you should know this. As we sit here, this is what I tell people all the time. Everything that was happening on that night had tempers going up and down. You see, we can sit here. People listening to me at home will listen comfortably. But if they were in that space and at that time, they will act differently. So then precious event is pulling me, business is pulling me, transport is pulling me. You know what I'm saying?
I know your position.
Good.
And I know xylophone, the way the pressure is.
Exactly. So I'm like, yo, killers, do your job. Me too, I have a job. That was what I was trying to do by making sure my artists would go on stage. You know, so immediately I couldn't, because there was nothing I could have done at the time. The things were down and Stonebwoy was about to go. There was no way I was going to hold Stonebwoy's leg or push him off. I can't do that. It's unprofessional. So the only professional thing I can do is call my team and speak to them, the individual managers, and say, I told events actually, tell the individual managers to send the artists back to the office. We cannot.
So they could not even get out of their cars?
Yes.
So let them go back home?
Yes. There'll be no performance because after Stonebwoy,
nothing else. Yes. Because I heard the show was to close at 11.
Good. And the timing.
Campus show, yeah.
Yes, at the time, there was nothing we could have done. So I was executing my job. Then transport will say, Charlie, my car, you see what they are paying this, you know, everybody's saying something. So transport says, boss, the afternoon time I for pick the car. If I go sleep tonight, weigh the car, I no get time, you put me for trouble, you know, and you know what I'm saying? There was so much pressure. So I said, let me take you to the car. Maybe you go talk to them and, you know, whatever. So we were trying to look for the car because CD was around. You know, Stonebwoy drives a Benz. We don't own the Benz. Xylophone doesn't own the Benz. In my books and in my contract, what we have given to him is the Sonata.
The Hyundai
Sonata. So we were looking out for it. It wasn't there. So then I knew they had another show because I was going to also go and watch that show. So transport was still on my case. And he was just doing his job. You know, says, okay, let me take you to that place. Maybe we'll find the car there. So I got there, saw the car, and I moved.
Were you guys looking for the car or you were looking for the individual you gave the car to?
When you say, no, the transport...
Because you keep saying that when we go there, we find the car.
Oh, but the car is driven by an individual.
Okay.
Who's driving it? The management or Stonebwoy office.
Okay.
So basically is the individual driving the car.
Okay.
Really, I mean, you need to speak to the person.
Okay.
So and we are not. It's not like we are fighting.
Okay.
You know, but the tensions on the night or at that particular night, you know, the transport manager had to do his work. He says, you know, I'm like, oh, let's cool down some of these things. Maybe Monday, we guy says, please, this is what I have to do, and you know. So I went with the transport manager and met CD at the other venue, Champs, Paloma. Then he came out and I said, bro, what do you have? He said, oh, cool. So we shook hands. I introduced him to the transport manager, you know, and the shook hands. And I said, oh, bro, you know the car then we talk about, say, like, afternoon for parking things. We say, yeah, you go come parking things. You know, but people there, they say they won't take their car. So I beg, you know. And that's what I said.
Who were those people? Because those are the people who have been tagged as thugs.
Okay. So now, my job as an artist manager, looking after everybody, I can employ people outside to do my work. you as PR, I've seen several occasions when we're about to do listening parties for Kumi.
Press events.
In press events, you employ press from outside.
Yeah.
So the transport manager can employ anybody to do their work. I'm not the transport manager. I don't know who and who he will pick, which garage people you'll be working with. I don't know. You understand? So I don't know. I can't speak for the transport manager as I speak. I saw him in a team. You know, so my job was to introduce them and leave.
Okay.
So when I did the introduction, that's when everything went
haywire.
Yes.
I have also spoken to CD, like I told you earlier. He said when you came there and you introduced the transport manager to him and his people, the transport manager's people who were to pick the car, you said if he's not ready to give the car, they should pick him up, according to CD.
Wow.
He said that is what you said.
Wow.
And that is what made him angry.
Wow.
That is why he...
Pick who up?
Him.
Him, CD.
Yes.
How can we do that? I don't have a personal problem with CD. We've been speaking the whole night. I even met him at Legon when the issue came up about the banners coming down and everything. We never fought. We never raised. He calls me king. I call him boss. So there was no way. There was nothing that would say they should pick him up. If I was going to say anything,
but according to him, he's saying that is what got him angry.
No, let me say
that's why he reacted the way he did.
So let me say this. Let me say this. Let me just say, he's right. I said pick him up. It's not even sensible. Who will pick who up? What I'll say is pick the car up. If I said something which I didn't say, if I was going to say anything there, I'll say pick the car up. Now, it is not even my duty to say pick the car up. It is transport manager's duty. My duty is to identify the car. Now, how would I pick CD up? CD is not a thief. We are not at loggerheads, so I can't even say that to him. So let's just say, by strange reason, me, myself, I forgot and said that. That reaction, he didn't warrant.
What was his reaction? Because he also agreed and admitted that he got angry. What was his reaction?
You give me car. Huh? Go talk to Stonebwoy. Where's Stonebwoy? He said, go find them. And he was speaking Hausa. I hear some Hausa, you know. And I think because I don't hear properly, so I don't want to go and say translation. But I didn't even, when he started shouting, I didn't say that. I stood there. Then I think the transport managers people, some of them also understand the language. And I heard them say, oh, relax, we not reached there yet. You know, that kind of thing. Now, Stonebwoy was working, or they had a team.
No, before Stonebwoy came in, if there was no fracas, how come I heard some tables were broken, glasses and co.
So what I'm saying is, when CD shouted all that drama I just did, he hit his hand on the table, broke bottles.
He was not fighting with anyone.
No.
He hit his hand on the table.
Yes. So let's just say, I said, pick him up. Maybe the pick him up got him to do all that Hogan things. You understand?
But then your people did not touch him.
Nobody has touched him. I was assaulted there. That's what I'm coming to. I was assaulted. Now, when CD started behaving like that, he had some people with him. I don't know if it is part of the team, but I've never met them at the office. But you know, as artists, they move with a entourage all the time. So there was this guy in a singlet who came pushing me, heckling me, leave here. I said, oh, boss, why? We reached there. Say, no, leave here. I said, why? I did talk to CD. Say, and they make CD the ball. That guy go slap me. And brass, I mean, I've been through a lot of situations. And as I speak, the Joy FM people were there. There's this girl, Becky, from Joy News. Speak to her. I was walking away when I was being ushered away. When all that, the guy pushed me and all that, I walked away. Now, she tried calling me back because she knew, I know her. She's my friend. But at that very moment, I didn't even see her as a friend. I saw her as a news person that was inquiring for news. I said,
ready to take information out.
So I said, Charlie, I beg, don't call me. You leave me, I had to go. Speak to her for her to confirm that. So I left the scene. Now, when I left the scene, I realized my transport manager had fled. You know,
the Bible can it be flee? And I hear flee is dangerous than run. Okay, so the funny side.
Yes. So we all met at the car. You know, and brother, I walked away. I walked away because I've seen so much. Now, besides the fact that I've seen so much, CD is not an enemy. He's my younger brother.
And you were not there to fight him?
Exactly. So I was like, maybe I'd done something before, or we get issues and you don't want to. I don't know. Because even if I saw CD and we don't have issues and I say, oh, pick him up, that alone shouldn't spark, but let me go back a little bit. There's some friction between us and the Stonebwoy office, which I will not go into. I will go into another time or proper time. So I understood where it was coming from. I understood it. That based on some of these small frictions, people will flare up. But between me and CD, we don't have issues. Because we've been deliberating through these issues, or what we've been sitting down, we've been speaking privately, blah, 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 all that. So I walked off. My transport manager fled the place, and we all met at because I at the car park, because he drove me to the place. I wasn't driving.
Oh, you did not drive there?
I wasn't driving. And I'm sure because he drove me to the place, he himself couldn't have gone for the car, and that's why he employed.
Yeah, because he will be driving back.
Yeah, to drive it back, and then that was the logical thing I saw.
Okay, so one thing also came up in the headlines: gunshots. According to the headlines, Stonebwoy fired gunshots, and I've also seen other headlines saying that he said he fired the gunshots because he was doing that for self-defense. Were you there when he fired the shots?
No. So I can't even speak to the issue.
You were not there?
No. Stonebwoy never saw me at the place. We never saw eye to eye. The only time Stonebwoy would have seen me if CD had allowed me to speak to Stonebwoy. But he said, no, I should go and find him. And that's when he started all that stuff. So, and this guy started heckling me, pushing me, and I left the scene. You understand? So I didn't even see Stonebwoy. Now, but check this out. I cannot even sit here and say, I know for a fact Stonebwoy fired. But he himself has said he's fired. He fired the gun shots. And coming here, I was listening to another radio station, and they had sound bites of him firing and speaking to that effect. But all that...
You heard sounds of gunshots?
Yes.
I see.
And he was speaking. Maybe I can mention the radio station so you can go and collect the sound bite. Hits FM.
Okay.
They played it. So Stonebwoy was firing. He said, hey, you see, tell them this is what. Maybe when you play it out, your people will hear it. But all that matter, I don't even know about it. So let's just put me and my transport manager. We had fled the scene. And we were afraid.
You run for your life.
For our dear life. You understand? Just to come and see when, we got back to the office because, we work late. So I came by, it was around 1 a.m., 1:30, 1:45, that area. And I realized, I was trending on Facebook, Bulldog this, Bulldog that, Bulldog this. I'm like, Then somebody had written a story, said, Bulldog enters Stonebwoy's car, trying to move, and he gives Zico. I said, which film be that?
Rambo style.
Yeah, which film be that? But truly, I have no qualms with Stonebwoy is still my artist. And I will not, I won't ambush him. No. These things happen. It's a human institution. But all that thing that went on was really, really unnecessary because...
So, was there? I'm even feeling somewhere asking you this question because there were other reports that a younger brother of Stonebwoy, was given a blow in the mouth and he's got a broken jaw. That's why I don't know how to ask. So you did not even see people fighting?
That's
But did you hear
If there was any fight or any movement, physical movement that I witnessed, it was CD breaking bottles and hitting the table with his hands, and this guy pushing me, say I should leave the place, you slap me. That was the only violence I saw. The rest, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. So I had left the scene. You know, now, when we came back to the office, I was up there before I think I went up there to pick up files and all that. Then my transport manager was leaving for when I came back, I met the whole team, events, business, everybody was there. And we're deliberating about what happened in Legon. Yeah, so we sat there for a while. So we all left the place like around 2:30, 2:45. So my transport manager wanted to go home, and I said, oh, he shouldn't bother taking me home. I'll get a taxi. Okay. Now, before, when he was going to drop me off, I received a call. And the guy said he will kill me.
You received a call from who?
Okay, so I later got to know he's called Chief Abiola or something.
Okay, I know Chief Abiola.
Good. He said he will kill me, he will do this, that be foolish guy. I didn't know who was speaking, and for me, I don't receive those calls. So when the person was speaking, I was just listening.
He will kill you for doing what?
I don't know.
Kill you for doing what?
You bring people, we go see Radabaka, Nima, Adede, who is this? He said, fuck you, who did it? Sorry.
Take your time.
Yes. Plenty. So I was just listening. Who is this guy? So now I didn't know. So he said, I know you, I have your passport details. If you may do some passport details. So now I started thinking. And I remember that there was a time I was traveling with Arabi. And we got introduced to a guy who does his paperwork for traveling. And the guy says he works closely with the South African embassy. So I started thinking. Now when I got home, I took my other number and I realized, it was the same guy. You know, so I called him back and I'm like, big man, you pay me and you don't get any problem. So when you called this, I said, oh, have we got in there? What is the problem? Me, myself, I don't see you. Say, I come out. I say, you did there. He say, I come out. They say, I say, you see me for there. He say, I come out. Anytime I go talk, he say, come out, come see something. What? I say, how? So I left the matter at it. Now, Masami, I didn't take the threat seriously until I met yourself yesterday and GH Kweku. And you guys said you received the same phone call from the guy.
We were in Ho by then.
Okay.
We actually didn't know what was happening because we were in a music awards at Ho. Then we started receiving calls. So Chief said, I should warn you. He said, okay, I should let you know at least. If I don't, then I have done something wrong. That's when I relayed that information to that. This is the one and what is happening. But you said, okay, come to Accra. When you come to Accra, we will discuss it.
So Brasami, for the purposes of our listeners, tell them what Chief told you to tell me. What was the warning?
No, he said they were looking for you because you brought people to attack Stonebwoy.
Okay. So